Hello guys, welcome back. So in the last class we talked about one more scenario that we're gonna add to verify the negative test case for login. And this one, let's take a look. So the first thing we wanna do here is we wanna go to the login page. We wanna try to put some invalid values or leave it empty and then hit login and see what happens. So this is what happens: invalid email or password. This is the thing that we need to verify, that if we do something invalid we should see this message, right? So what we can do is we can just say inspect element, and we see that there is this element and it has a class alert danger, but it has a text which says email, invalid email or password. So what we need to do is we just need to look for this element. This guy is something that we need to look. So let's create a kind of an XPath for it. So what I'm gonna do here is maybe create XPath. So it's a div and it should contain a text. So basically contains text, and the text should be invalid email or password. So I'm gonna copy this here, put here. So that's what I'm trying to search, that I'm looking for a div and that should contain a text which says invalid email or password, and I think I'm able to find the element. So let's clear the DOM, paste this here and verify, and it shows me one matching node. So it looks like I'm able to successfully create the XPath. Let's go to our PyCharm now. What we want to do here is we want to look for it here. So verify login failed. I'm going to say result equals to self dot is element present. So I'm going to put this XPath here and locator type as again XPath. This is XPath. And I'll tell you one more beauty about what I'm doing. So this is something amazing that you will just realize. Ideally, I should verify the text of the message, right? But since the XPath that I created is this, if you carefully notice, it's looking for the text invalid email or password, which means that it's automatically verifying that this text is present in the element that we are looking for. So we don't have to additionally go ahead and get the text of the element and then verify it. This guy is just gonna do this stuff for us. So again, let's return the result and it should just verify that thing for us. Now let's write a test here. So I'm gonna say this here. Let's copy this thing and I will do few more modifications. So I'm gonna say test invalid login, and we just want to log in once right now. So I'm gonna remove everything from the valid login. Why I'm doing that? Because what I'm thinking is, let's first verify the invalid login. It's gonna fail and then we can log in. Otherwise, if we first do the valid login, we will have to log out and then we will have to again verify the invalid login, right? So what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna put all of this on the top up here before any method. So it's up there and I will call it self.driver. It should just work with this way. And same thing, I'll remove this driver.quit. Maybe I can just leave it here, driver.quit after the second test. So self.driver.quit, and I can remove this guy from this place as well. So it's there, it's removed, and you know what, I'm just gonna call this method in the invalid login test, and let's call it self dot, and let's call it okay, we can actually create the object also on the top. So let's create the object here and we can just simply use self.lp, and we can just say self.base URL, and we can remove the quit from the first method. I'll just go through the flow, guys, so don't worry about it. Let me just get it going. So what we are doing is we are first putting the base URL, we are doing all the basic stuff, we are creating the object for the login page up on the top, and then we have a method called test valid login, and here we can just remove the line to create the object, and then here we are just logging in, right? And then after logging in, we are verifying that we can successfully log in. This is the first test. And the second one, we are going to the base URL. So basically this is going to be the first test. I'm just having it in the second place for a reason. I'll show you that. And then we are logging in, and I need to provide incorrect password, right? So I can just say ABC and ABC and ABC, more additional characters. And then I am verifying that the login fails. So instead of saying login successful, I can say login failed. Once I say that, I'm just trying to assert it. So this kind of completes our test, right? Now let's do a few more things. I want to make sure that this guy runs first. Then what can I do for it? I can say pytest. So for that, I think I need to import pytest first. Import pytest and dot mark dot run order equals to 1. So remember this from the pytest section. We can just copy this here and we can put it here and mark it as run order 2. So we are making sure that this method runs first. Did you get this, guys? Because we are putting the run order as 1 and we are making this method to run first, and then we are making the valid login to run second. So first we're going to provide incorrect credentials, so it should fail, and then in the second method we're going to provide correct credentials and it should be successful, and then finally after asserting it's going to quit. I want to make one more change to make it more flexible. I want to make these methods as optional arguments. So email equals to this and password equals to this. And why I'm doing that? Let's imagine that I don't want to put anything here. Don't want to put anything. I can just completely remove these things from here. And if I remove these things, I can verify different scenarios. Like once I want to put email and I don't want to put password and hit login, I can verify that scenario. Other scenario, I don't want to put email and I just want to put password here, so I can say password equals to this and hit login. It's going to verify that scenario. So basically by making them optional arguments, I am verifying that I can run different scenarios with different kinds of inputs. So I don't need two different methods. I can just have one login method. I can leave both the arguments as empty. So by default, it's going to take empty value for email and password, and it's going to type empty strings in the fields, which means we are not typing anything, and it's going to perform the workflow. So we will have all these scenarios verified with just one login method. So that's the benefit. So I have this one here, and let me just quickly go ahead, open the terminal and try to run it. So I'll bring up the browser. Should go to login page and it should verify. Did you guys see that first time it showed the error message? And if you see here, it has verified both the tests. First it ran the invalid login, then it ran the valid login. So it ran both the tests, it verified both the things, and we can very easily see how the test looks like. And if you notice, we just utilized the opportunity. We moved this code out of the test method. This is kind of a common code, right? We moved it out of the test method, and the test looks like this. First go to the browser, call the login function, and this guy, get the result of the login, and then definitely finally assert the result. Same thing happens here. Just call the login function, verify the login successful, verify the result by using assert, and then call driver.quit. And we are ordering also our test cases. So we actually did a lot of things without realizing. We made multiple test cases. We utilized the same login method for running different kinds of test cases, one positive, one negative. This one is positive, this one is negative. Then we ordered the test cases in particular order that we wanted. We moved out the common stuff out of the methods, which is again a different thing. So we did a lot of stuff. I would just say, guys, please download this code, refer to it, and let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for running this one. I'll see you in the next lectures.